I just bought 4 affordable Ryobi tools. Are they worth the buck or do they just plain suck? Now there's a lot of Ryobi haters out there, but frankly, it's a brand you just can't ignore. And if you're a DIYer, I'd argue that there's no other brand that has such an extensive lineup of tools. And this lineup is doing nothing but expanding every day, especially with their latest addition to their battery infrastructure, which is a smaller USB lithium battery. And the prices of these tools are in true Ryobi fashion, making all of these tools quite affordable. So when I saw these tiny little guys at Home Depot, I knew I had to give them a try. So let's get into my 4 latest additions to the shop and check out these USB chargeable tools. And since all of these tools are perfect gifts for that dad in your life, I've also got 4 dad jokes for you as well. I'm not sure I can hand you this first tool. Why's that? Don't you want this video to be kid friendly? True, but why do you say that? This is a staple nailer and I barely know her. There it is. Will you just toss it to me? You got it, cuz. Here you go. So this is the 4-in-1 staple nailer kit. Let's check it out. So the first thing that impressed me about this tool was the size of the box. One of my absolute favorite tools in my shop is my Ryobi Airstrike nailer. But let's face it, this bad boy's a little thick. Thick? So I'm intrigued to see how powerful this little guy is when we compare it to the original. So let's get her out of the box and see what she comes with. So inside the box you're going to get a charging cord that's USB-A to USB-C. Along with that, you're also going to get 3 different types of staples as well as some brad nails. The staples are heavy duty, light duty, and round crown. Along with that, you're also going to get the 3 amp hour USB chargeable lithium battery. Lastly, you're going to find the tool itself. Let's take a quick look at some of its features. As you can tell, this tool's got a nice, comfortable pistol grip on it. At the very bottom of the tool, you'll find the battery housing. With a quick twist at the bottom, you can instantly slide in your battery. Now, one thing that would have been really nice with this tool is to have an external charging port, but this tool just doesn't have it. Instead, you need to remove the battery and charge it up externally. To load this tool with staples or nails, we need to take a look at the front of the tool. On the very bottom of the front of the tool, you'll find a little latch that you can squeeze to reveal the magazine. And on the very back of the magazine, it lists out what fasteners it can accept, including heavy-duty staples from 1/4 of an inch to 9/16 of an inch, round crown staples from 3/8 of an inch to 9/16 of an inch, light-duty staples from 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch, and brad nails up to 5/8 of an inch. Let's load up that magazine so that we can take a look at the remaining features. And I'm going to load it up with some heavy-duty staples so that we can test it later. If we look at the very tip of the gun, you'll notice a very small black tab. This is called the activation tab, and this needs to be depressed before any fastener can be ejected. There's also a couple of other markings on the tip of the tool for alignment purposes. On the top of the gun, there's a little indentation along with the marking of a staple to show you where each leg of the staple will go. And on both sides, there's a black horizontal line to show you exactly where your staple's going. The last thing that I want to show you before we test this out is the little window on the side. This will clearly show you if you have enough staples loaded or if you need to refill. So let's test this tool out, both for a heavy-duty staple as well as a brad nail, and I'm going to use some pine as well as some white oak. Let's first drive a heavy-duty staple into the pine, and you'll notice that once that black tab is depressed, the light will turn green. If we take a closer look at those 2 staples, you can see how beautifully level they are with that pine. Now let's try the same thing on this piece of white oak. And you can see from that example, the gun is just not powerful enough to get through that white oak. But let's see what happens when we try a 5/8 inch brad nail. First, let's try it on the pine. And once again, beautiful flush results with the pine. But what about that white oak? Let's see what kind of results we get with that. And you can obviously see with those results, this gun's just not going to cut it with the hardwoods. So a pretty impressive, compact little tool. Now I obviously won't be using this tool for hardwoods, but it's a great tool if you have to do a little bit of upholstery work or you need to do some trim work that's made out of pine. And with its compact, comfortable design, I'm sure you're going to be seeing me use this tool on some future projects. Well, that covers our first tool, and we need to tap into the second, and our second dad joke. You know, my ex went as a screwdriver for Halloween this year. Oh yeah? I think it was actually a busted screwdriver. Why's that? She didn't turn any heads at all. Wondered where you're going with that. Hand me the next tool. You bet, cuz. Here you go. So this is the Ryobi Lithium Screwdriver Kit. Let's check it out. So once again, we're dealing with the same battery infrastructure as the tool we just took a look at. And all of these batteries are interchangeable between the two tools. The only difference between this tool's battery and the battery we just took a look at is this is a 2 amp hour battery. So let's get this biatch out of the packaging and see what it comes with. As you can see here, there's not a whole lot in the package. There's the tool, the battery, the charger, and a couple of bits. A flat head bit and a Phillips head bit, both of which I never use. Leave a comment below and let me know if you're like me and only use star bits at this point. So let me explain exactly why I purchased this handheld screwdriver kit for woodworking. It really has to do with a few reasons. Now, although this screwdriver may not have all the power and functionality of these drill and drivers, this thing has one thing going for it. It's affordable. This little guy costs less than 30 bucks, and all those other drill and drivers are well over $200. And even more than that, this little screwdriver's got some functionality that these high-end ones just don't have. So let's get into it. First off, let's take a look at the chuck or the collet. This accepts any hex bit you may have. And once it's in there, it has quite the hold. You can even hold the whole tool up by the bit itself. You'll see that the battery slides in just like the previous nailer that we just took a look at. Once that battery's in place, you can see there's 2 LED lights to help guide your way as you're driving in your screw. If we take a look at the undercarriage of the tool, you'll notice that there's a storage solution.
Personally, before I'm on the job, I like to give my undercarriage a bit of a how's your father.
There's 2 clips that can either store 2 smaller bits or 1 larger bit. On the very back of the screwdriver handle, you're also going to find a directional switch, allowing you to quickly move from forward to backwards with just a flip of the thumb. On the very front of the handle, you're going to find a very large trigger, which allows you to initiate the drill with ease. And finally, right below that trigger, you're going to find a LED light that indicates the battery charge. And that just about covers all the basic features of this screwdriver. However, we haven't even touched upon its best feature. If we look at the very top of the screwdriver, you'll see there's a little button. If we depress this button and rotate the handle, it instantly becomes a screwdriver with a different setup. Now, instead of a trigger style screwdriver, you have a straight screwdriver, allowing you to get into those tight spots you normally might not be able to get to, with a total length of just over 9 inches. So there's a lot of flexibility with this screwdriver, but let's test it out. To do this, I'm going to chuck in a star bit because I don't have any Phillips head screws. And I'm going to drive in 2 screws in 2 different ways. The first screw has a pilot hole and the second one is just raw wood. And as you saw there, this screwdriver obviously works a little better with pilot holes. It was able to drive in both screws, but the one with a pilot hole is just a little bit more flush and a little less proud than the one without a pilot hole. Now, I do like the speed at which this screwdriver rotates, but the power is underwhelming. It's definitely not made for joinery of wood, but it could be perfect for installing things like hinges, or if you suffer from something like arthritis.
I've got arthritis. My cataracts are as thick as nickels.
So is this going to replace some of my higher end tools? Probably not, but it is a nice little gadget to have, especially for under 30 bucks. But I do like the flexibility of this tool and its multi-tool battery infrastructure, as well as the ability to charge those batteries with the USB-C. Well, that takes us through 2 tools today and only 2 more left to go. Before we move on to our third tool, I ask you to do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment. It really does help out this small woodworking channel. Also, if any of the tools we take a look at today interest you, I'll leave links in the description below so that you can go check them out for yourself. Also, check out my website, flynndoggwoodwork.com, where you can find all sorts of fun woodworking accessories like all the t-shirts that I wear in my videos. Now let's check out our third tool and, more importantly, our third dad joke. You gonna check out a flashlight anytime soon? Maybe. Why? Mine's broke as a joke and I can't see anything through these shades. That sucks. What happened? I'm not sure what happened to it, but ever since it's been broke, I've been delighted. I see what you did there. Will you toss me the next tool? You know I got you. Here you go. So this is the Ryobi Compact Area Lighting Kit. Let's take a look. So I've been a huge fan of this larger Ryobi light that I got a few years ago. I use it all the time, not only for filming, but for home improvement projects. But it is pretty bulky, especially when you add the battery that powers it. Just like with other areas of my life, this thing is oftentimes way too big and won't fit into locations that I need. And that's exactly why I got this smaller light. Let's get it out of the box and take a look. So once again, this is a tool that's less than $30, and inside the box you're only going to find 3 items. The light itself, a USB-C charging port, as well as a 2 amp hour lithium battery. Let's first talk about the size of this tiny little guy. This is a light that can really fit into any tight spot, with a length that's just a little bit over 4 inches long, and a width of 2 inches and a height of 2.5 inches. And this light, which fits in the palm of your hand, is really quite flexible, having multiple clips and fasteners on it so that you can hang it where you want it. And it even includes a carabiner to attach to almost anything. Let's slide that included battery into it and see how it works. Just like with the other tools, it slides into the side and locks into place. Now obviously there's only a couple of things to talk about with a light like this, but I think you're going to be quite impressed. At the very top of the light you'll find the power button. And this light has 3 settings, high, medium, and low. You can quickly rotate through those settings with just a press of the button. And with my lights turned off, you can see how easily this little light illuminates my entire under cabinet. Not only that, but this light is also dust and water resistant, which is perfect if you're working under a cabinet and you have to do some plumbing. But we haven't even touched upon one of the most impressive features about this light. 52 hours of continuous runtime. That's over 2 days, which makes this the perfect home improvement DIY build that cabinet light. So once again, another amazing bargain by Ryobi with this light, especially since it runs on the same battery infrastructure as the other 2 tools we've taken a look at already today. Well, that takes us through our 3rd item and only one more item left to take a look at, which is our 4th tool. So let's get started with our 4th dad joke. I've had it with my ex. Well, that's nothing new. Why's that? I think she's been using glue with my antique weapon collection. She denies it, but I'm sticking to my guns. Nice. Will you hand me that next tool? This one? You got it. Here you go. So this is the Ryobi 18-volt compact glue gun. Let's check it out. So do I need a glue gun? Well, for me, there's a couple of situations where one comes in handy. First up is with epoxy. Having a glue gun to create a dam when pouring your epoxy can save you a lot of time. By creating a dam with the glue, you can mitigate that epoxy from running all over your surface and save you a lot of labor and sanding down the road. Another great option for a glue gun is to secure wood to a planer sled that's just too large to fit through your jointer. And it could even be used to stabilize larger pieces of wood like a slab when you're using a router sled. So let's get it out of the box and see what comes with it. So this is the only tool that we're taking a look at today that doesn't run on the same battery infrastructure. It actually runs on the 18-volt 1+ system. And this system comes with a compact glue gun, a cordless power base, as well as 3 mini glue sticks. So how does this glue gun work? Well, we first need to attach an 18-volt battery to the power base. Once the power base is attached to the battery, we can take a glue stick and slide it into the glue gun. With the glue in place, we simply take that glue gun and place it onto that holster. With the gun in the holster, we can now talk about the operation of the tool. If we take a look at the holster, you'll see there's not a whole lot going on here. There's a little drip tray as well as a little power button on the side. When we turn that power switch on, you'll see it turns on a red LED light both on the holster as well as the tool itself. And the hot glue gun works like any other glue gun, but there is a major difference, and that's that it's cordless. When you remove the gun and pull the trigger, it pushes that glue stick into the hot glue gun. And once the glue stick is melted, it pushes that glue through the precision tip. And the usage on one battery charge is really quite impressive, being able to go through over 100 of these glue sticks on one charge. And if you've ever worked with glue guns, you know they can be quite messy. But with the battery port drip tray, it eliminates a lot of this, being able to scrape that glue off with just your fingernail. And at just under 30 bucks for the tool only, if you're looking for a portable cordless glue gun, this is a great option. Well, that takes us through all 4 of our affordable Ryobi tools today. Before we wrap up today, let me know what your favorite tool was and if you've had any experience with any of these 4 tools. Well, thanks again for watching, and do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment. It really does help out this small woodworking channel. Also, make sure you check out my website, Flynndogwoodwork.com. Until next time, take care as always. You know, I had a better job before I started YouTube. I was a can crusher. Problem was, it was so depressing.